Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Army Overlord. Welcome to the first match of Season 2 Dual Esports, the Bronze, Silver, and Gold competitive series. I have been waiting so long to say that. Thank goodness. I finally get to say that before anyone else. Yes! Woo! Well, here joining me, the man of the faith himself. Go ahead, introduce yourself, my friend.
Hey, everybody, it's Church here. Welcome back to Dual Esports. How are you people doing today? Good, great, awesome.
Good, great, awesome indeed, my main man. It's going to be a bit of a classic match of Season 1 where the Epic Sex Gaming Group will be going against the Naughty Nips. This is a bit of a classic. They never actually went against each other during the playoff time, but these two teams were definitely on the list for a long while in that playoff opportunity. Both of them would come ever so close, but ends up losing to the champions shortly afterwards. But new teams, new season. These teams, I expect, are going to be really great again this type of year. I'm excited to see this. Do you know anybody on the teams, by the way, Church?
Not really. The only people I've known so far is Barbie and GVG, and what I know about those people, they play really well together. But besides that, new season, so everything could change right now. New era, by the way, all these new runes coming out. Really confusing.
The three bands on each side have been confirmed here, and just in case you guys aren't visually seeing this at home, it is Nutty Nips on the red side and ESG on the blue side. They'll be swapping for the game 2. And that actually will be just about it for those of you who are curious. This is a best of 2, therefore there will only be 2 games. So once this one is concluded, there will be a game 2. And honestly, I'm pretty interested on how the point system is going to work out here. But before we even get in depth with that conversation, it appears Shyvana has been secured by Fridge.
That's that's a really farming lane jungler right there. I don't feel like that's gonna be the biggest hitting card right now. Let's see how the combos gonna keep going.
Just Donna being secured for Ryan Stanfield. Definitely a solid ADC to go with Barbie.
Wait, is that the
Bringing it
video I'm gonna see?
Oh my goodness. No, it looks like the J4 will actually be the one that comes out here. Future mailman securing his flag post.
Wow, for a second there, I thought someone was gonna play Minion. Nunu is the great champion of League of Legends,
The
and we all
greatest,
know that for sure.
the best minion in this game. Until the patch is coming along here, apparently his new changes are probably going to bring him into the meta, I would
I
imagine.
know he's gonna become from a regular minion to a super minion. How about them apples?
Indeed. I can't wait to see how that's going to work out. Anyway, Caitlyn being secured as the ADC for Ravencrow, and Sivian now sitting at the option. Does he take a support just to secure this out for Ignorant? Or is it going to be Sivian securing his mid laning choice against Omen? Both sides not revealing their hand yet. Except for right now, Lulu actually appears to have secured the bot lane. Now
You,
Sivian happens to have plays some sort of hand here, unless
this could be the Lulu mid lane. That's all I'm gonna say here. That's a really strong pick as well. Really supportive, and they can just rely on both Shyvana and Caitlyn to do the damage.
I see, I see. Well, Omen right now sitting in this position here will secure the Orianna. Says, "All right, fine. You got a Lulu. Expecting this to be a bot lane. Now that I've got Orianna in my grasp, I'm gonna tell you it right now, and I'm not worried about what you got, Sivian."
I mean, hey, they have the Wombo combo already coming out with J4 and Orianna. Pretty straight up there that everyone knows now. Very strong combo.
Syndra is now being banned here, and that's
And as we keep going, I seem to have lost my caster in the process.
seems like my microphone just cut out for a brief second. Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, yeah, perfectly fine. There we go.
Oh, fantastic. Hate it if that ends up happening against me here. In any case, I'm extremely excited to get right back to it here. You can already see that the ban focus on mid is now starting to pile in for the Naughty Nip side, since they know that Lulu is most likely going to be the support for Ignorant.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hard hitter right there.
Getting rid of some Orianna options here. Syndra was the classic anti-Orianna. They usually go even in the lane for the most part, and now Ari being taken away as well. Sivian will have to try something pretty drastic if he wants to try to force the lane to win. If not, he might want to think about trying a mid laning option that could perhaps balance out Oriana's very strong mid and early game auto attacks.
I mean, true, they also got the Leona man coming from Fridge's side over here.
GVG appears to be taking out his Shen for this game. Really interesting. It looks like it might be a heavy focus on trying to keep Ryan Stanfield alive in the battle.
And if I know anything about GVG Shen, he's really solid as a champion. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to trade fairly well, so I'm going to expect great things from this game from him.
Ravencrow says, I'm taking Vagar, I'm giving it to Sivian, and then on the follow-up, Tom Kench will be used in the top lane against the Shen. Very interesting, I have to admit. Ignorant will not... selecting this for Fridge is going to be really, really, really tricky. Because here's the tricky thing about it. He can't instantly stun Shen. It takes him to proc the passive to make that happen, and by that time, the second he makes that decision to do the ult, he will not be able to have that opportunity.
You don't know though that health scaling damage on his auto attacks can be a surprising amount of damage, especially in the early game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also going to be pretty interesting to see how the scaling option is going to go down here. Sivian taking Vagar against an Orianna. Orianna happens to be one of the most consistent mid-laning choices so far in this entire competitive series throughout both season 1 of Duo Esports and now in season 2 for them, as I can clearly tell.
I mean, Oriana's a very strong pick no matter what team comp. She provides a lot of utility, a lot of damage. To me, that seems a solid mid laner to pick for any team.
Mm-hmm. Barriers on both sides here, both Sivian and Omen, not planning to take out one another, but certainly getting protection for in case anything happens. Very interesting protective style on both sides. I would have imagined Vagar, you'd want to have the ignite just to try to get a little extra away from the barrier, kind of cut it out, maybe use that ultimate to allow him to lower his health bar enough for the ignite to do the trick. But
I mean,
I don't know.
maybe thinking about the whole point that they have a Shen on the team, that could be ulting that Orianna, saving her from everything possible. So he's going to try to farm out to the late game so he can get as much damage as possible.
Yeah, they definitely have not just Shen, but J4 on that engage as well. That is going to be pretty devastating if that gets onto Vagar very quickly. I don't think Vagar will have enough time even to get his Zanyas out by the time the CC finishes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the team to the left here with Frisian though. They don't have a lot of peel, but thank God for the Tom Kench being able to save their carries during this whole fiasco in every team fight possible.
Mm-hmm. with about 2 minutes on the clock right now, let's talk about comps. Let's talk about perspective. Let's talk about the mentality of the first situation here. Ooh, we got ourselves our first cheer by Rain Graphics, dropping me a little bit of that triangle action. Nice, shiny, grayish silver piece. I love it. Looks
Hey,
absolutely cute and amazing. I can't believe we got our first one on the first
um,
day. Thank you
not
very
only on
much,
the
Rain Graphics.
first day, in the first 10 minutes at that.
Oh man, I can't wait to see more to come. That's gonna be pretty fun. We got to get ourselves that. We got to start tossing some bits around because that's got to be some crazy stuff in the future.
For a guy named Rain Graphics, he's surely brightening up my day. Aha!
Ah, ha, ha.
Ah,
Ah, I like it. I like it.
ah,
And you're fired.
there it goes. All right, I'm
No, no,
ready.
no, 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 no. I need you actually.
Hey, man, I'm
All right.
ready. Setting all this aside, the comps right here looks like the Fridge's team is going to be very, very undefensive. It looks like it's a really weird
Hmm.
team cut. Not a heavy engage either. You can tell they have a Tom Kent and Ivana. They're gonna
Right.
need a lot of setup in order for them to run in there and actually try to get those picks. However, with Naughty Nips over here, they have two strong initiators. Not only that, a Nami to help initiate and speed everybody up with a solid backline. I
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be rooting for Naughty Nips this game.
Yeah, I honestly think this is going to be a pretty interesting one, considering the interview both Fridge and GVG has come to know about. Fridge personally said that GVG is a fantastic opponent to go up against. So it is going to be, despite him being MVP of season one as the top laner, he won that pretty convincingly with the votes. Now he's going up against the jungler that happened to win also in that voting department. So it's GVG and Fridge colliding for the first time
Very spooky,
in the
very
season,
very spooky.
in the competitive series. That is, I'm pretty sure they probably practiced against each other or got some scrims. I would imagine because they're actually good friends, the two of them. So this is going to be absolutely fantastic to watch in the top lane. Although in most cases you would say this is going to be a bit more of a wet noodle fight. I'm telling you, these are 100. Sorry, these noodles are 100% made out of metal. They are going to hurt and they're going to hit.
Let's not push that either. Let's kind of be honest here. The Shen and Tom can both the shields and ways to soak up damage. It's going to be a very wet noodle fight.
But it will be a little bit of that metal rod lodged in there. I'm certain. I'm very certain of that. Of course, they're tanks, so even with that being the case, it's not like they're going to have some big imprint on those damages. But they should be able to get some good swings. I'm certain of that. Health bars will be noticed.
And then looking into the bot lane, we can see that there's two sides, very poke heavy lanes from both sides. So the Caitlyn, Lulu, they're able to sustain out and trade very well with bot lane Nami and Tristana.
Mm-hmm. And Nami here is the classic option for Barbie. The second coming, the second option would be none other than the classic Taric for Barbie. So leaving the Nami open is going to be even more interesting to see how they're going to get this combo to work effectively. Barbie knows extremely well on how to play a Nami. Bubble, hit that E, hit that setup, get the combo ready, get your ADC in a beautiful spot. It's going to be great.
Yeah, but you also got to remember their team is focused very well on saving that Caitlyn there with the Tom Kench the Devour, if I'm correct. The Tom Kench Devour eating the Caitlyn, getting her to safety, or the Lulu, all the peel that Lulu can provide can really protect Ravencrow in this game.
Mm-hmm. In this situation, it is extremely important to see how they will play the first type of situation. It appears that all of the members of ESG are attempting to assassinate Barbie Naughty in the early stages of the game.
Very spooky indeed. I would not
Going
expect
for the
this to occur.
5-man here. Barbie will be the first one to see this situation. They do not have an instant CC lockdown. Barbie gets
Barbie was
polymorphed
not
and now
paying
has to be
attention.
in a rough spot. Will not use the flash, simply walks out and
So
now
there's
uses
the
the flash.
Ooh,
To
that was
get
a
away
close
from that
one.
imprisonment. Nice job by Barbie, being very patient and aware. Good attempt by ESG to force the
I
flash
mean,
at
we
bot
should
lane.
have pushed the aware part because we saw that she sat there for a few seconds there. Thank God they didn't lock her in time.
Could have been disastrous for certain. Could have been Very bad for Barbie, but does have half the health bar now. Doesn't plan to back
And
yet.
yeah, it seems that she's very confident in her ability to stay alive in lane with a half health.
A little bit of that red buff going on here between the two sides. It looks like Fallen will actually, whoops, that's an incorrect information. It looks like Fallen will be doing red and J4 will be doing blue. J4 apparently lost a few seconds off of that one. Seems to have not getting the type of leash that would have given them a bigger lead.
I mean, if anything, they had to get to lane in time, so it's pretty understandable. Especially since right now they're a little behind due to health problems. However, it looks like Barbie's already back almost to full after the whole engage.
Stun lands onto Fridge, half the health bar on GBG, who's swinging back. But the damage has been done on that trade. Pretty successful for Fridge, going really well so far.
Sunny on this little side, how are you been doing tonight, Army? Pretty good.
I'm doing pretty all right, honestly. You know, I've been having some excitement, a little bit of anxiety. I've been like way excited to see how this is gonna go. I've missed these guys so much from season 1. They've been a very fantastic showing, and I'm really excited to see what they've developed over the off season and what they are able to play with during this season. I'm
especially right now with the new runes right now, all these new things that no one can really set down yet. New season, beginning of the rank season, as a matter of fact. Have you started your climb by any chance?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I think I didn't catch that right. Say that
Have
again?
you started your climb and ranked by any chance so far?
Oh, indeed I have. I've got 9 of my placements done. I only need 1 more to go. I am 6-3, looking for that 7th win. I'm hoping this will be a pretty good year for me. I don't know exactly if I will be able to climb as successfully as I did the year before. Of course, you never know how well that's going to go out for me. But I've been gold for a couple of seasons now consistently. I want to see if maybe I can seem to stretch myself a little bit further down the gold tree, maybe get myself gold 1. Who knows? Certainly going to try.
And listen, if you know anything about Riot, they are making Lucian a 40-something% win rate champion, looking like he's in God tier this season. So anything can happen at this point.
Yes, indeed. Barbie seems to have caught the eye of future mailman and seemed to get the ward down placement. Good, interesting little rotation there, trying to make sure they have complete understanding of where J4's rotation is right now.
Meanwhile, in mid lane, it seems as if Omen is poking a lot of damage into the Veigar right now. They hurt a little bit.
The next question I have to say here is J4 going to actually make the risk, gank the top side, try to get that top lane gank, or is this going to be more focused on the mid lane to try to jump the Veigar to get the Ori some early advantage? Even though Ori already has slowly becoming a wave of CS and a half now. I believe getting close to 1.5 lead on waves against his opponent, which is actually pretty good. Oh, there we go, right away, actually. Simeon, pretty close. Just needs a single auto attack, and he's not gonna get that auto.
Barely out of tower range. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been really devastating, but Future Mailman does get out of that very sticky situation.
Oh, man.
A little worried for him here. You do not want to be the first blood. If you're in season 2, this is the real question. Who is going to be the one to die? How will he die? Is it going to be an int, a tower dive, or a 5-man penta? Who's going to be the first?
Oh, the engage in top lane. Oh, now they're backing up. Then bot lane now.
Oh, here we go. Dan taking some big damage there. He will almost go down, and yet again, GBG is going to continue to fight Bridge, who's also in a rough spot here. He's getting some of his health back from the regen, but GBG might have the upper hand. He might go in on the next engage. Bridge got his level 6 now. This is a situation where he doesn't have to burn his TP. He can use his ultimate just to get back to the wave.
If I was this J4, I would have one of my biggest worries being the Shyvana solely in the dragon this early in the game. She is a very capable jungle to do that, and they should have start putting wards right away. It looks like they are doing, actually. Good on them.
Oh yeah. Sivian here is trying to get some farm and also poke onto Omen. Omen has complete control of the wave. This is actually looking pretty unfortunate right now, as that wave lead that he has is, I believe, 2 now, as he's slowly getting a 15 to 16 CS lead over Sivian.
Oof, that is gonna hurt a little bit. Meanwhile, it looks like they're getting set up already down here in bot lane.
Top lane and mid lane are currently winning in the CS department. Here comes the Tom Kench jumping into action here.
Oh, the flash has been burned. Another flash. Oh,
Nobody
there's
in the range, and it will be
Shen.
Yes, Shen ultimate to stop Barbie from Luke taking any more damage. Wombo combo on the damage, still not enough, as the trades continue between those two mid laners.
both TPing back to top lane, it looks like. Back to the farming lane that is top lane.
Both sides have used their ultimates respectively. However, Fridge, I believe, has the advantage here. His ultimate is a TP as well. But the kicker here is it's a much shorter cooldown than the Shen ultimate.
However, a lot shorter range at that.
Fridge gets a little bit of the nibble and bite. Does not get GVG low enough to risk his attempt to kill him.
As of right now, I'm wondering how these two teams are going to be clashing with each other. It already looks like a very aggressive team, especially 8 minutes. All this action has been going on already. This seems like it's going to be a very exciting game.
Yet nobody is willing to give up that first blood. They do not want to be known as the guy to give it up. I'm expecting a team fight.
First death of the season soon's going to happen. Then when that comes out, everyone's going to lose their mind.
Shyvana here happens to be pretty close to the J4. A little bit of a vision trade going on between the two of them. Shyvana probably a little bit unaware of the fact that J4 put the ward there. Probably.
Right now here, it looks like Savannah over here is having a little bit of a hard time debating on either the farm or go back.
It's going to be a tricky question for sure. I have another thing to wonder here. Seems like both Tom and Shen are going to go ahead and get the same type of item direction. Shen's going to go for a Tiamat. Is Fridge planning to do the same thing? What do you think? Yes,
for sure. Tom Kench's Tiamat's a very strong item on him. Then Tiamat into that Titanic, that's going to give him so much extra damage, let alone with his health scaling.
I can imagine that being a good choice. However, I think I actually would go a little bit more on the physical damage protection side. Maybe even a Bramble in this case. I ain't gonna lie here.
That Shen's Q is magic damage, and that's what he's mainly going to be spamming you with. Probably a Ninja Tablet would be a good strong pick, if anything, to block that auto attack damage.
I do agree with that type of logic, but I imagine GVG will be doing the same thing since Shyvana and Caitlyn will be the focus on that one. Fridge certainly has GVG at an angle here. Doesn't trust the fact that he can get that burst damage on him, even if he eats them. So he's not going to take the risk on GVG, despite his position right now. If he had, now this is those type of situations as a top laner, you wish you had Ignite, because this is where you would definitely make that play. If you had that 2 procking, you just needed the
You also gotta worry about the fact that Shen can taunt you under that tower W, and you're not gonna get anything off by the time he kills you there. Especially with that low amount of HP.
And that is a good risk to take, which is why he's not taking it here. Sivian, a little scared in that situation, decides to play it safe, but in that case, it looks like Raven, Crow, and Ignorant are going to take advantage of the confusion of where J4's positioning was, takes advantage of that by grabbing an Infernal.
First dragon of the season, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's an Infernal. I love it. I love that.
We got the dragon for the dragon that is Shyvana over here. Amazing stuff.
Just very befitting of the situation. Very. Let's take a look at the warning so far as we reach a 10-minute mark here. It looks like both sides a little low on the control ward side. In fact, it looks like there's only 2 out there in the early stages of the game, so their focus is not trying to get the wards out yet. As on the Epic Sack side, they happen to just lose their control ward just now, and the vision seems to be just the regular classic yellow trinkets, as well as some sight stones. Well, looks like Fridge just got spotted here. GVG going to take advantage of Fridge being in a rough spot. The auto attack's going off. He eats him a bit as the fight is now going on at a different angle, but Fridge will simply position himself away and the fight is disengaged. And now it looks like they have procced that, but they're not going to try to take it here. No one's taking big risks. No one's going for the first kill. Everybody's taking it nice and easy.
Yeah, you never want to be known as the first person to throw the game in the second season of Dual Esports.
The Caitlyn's decision
to... very safe.
Sivian here is focusing on trying to get as much as he can out of that ability, but meanwhile, Fridge's decision to go the max on the Q, which is the slow, by the way, is very interesting. I think he wants to go for better pokes on GVG, but he's decreasing the amount of damage that he could be doing to GVG when he's inside his body.
However, you do understand that he doesn't want Shen to be on him 24/7. He has safe poke, he doesn't need to be near him, and it still scales with his health in that matter.
Very true, but the damage that he's doing to GVG is a lot, but it's not anything on health percentage, which is exactly what GVG is going for. He does go for tenacity, and GVG also planning to go tenacity here, so even if Fridge does get the E, it's only going to be a much shorter amount of time.
And going back to the whole vision idea, both sides, surprisingly enough, with no vision towards the top lane side at all. For a roaming composition that both teams have, I don't know.
They're definitely focused on doing a classic style of a solo queue in some sense. They're definitely taking it nice and easy. Fridge here does get the bite. He will spit him out. He's going to try to get the damage necessary, but GVG will not commit. The barrier was procced. He's going to back off here.
So close.
Very close. GVG does not want to take the risk to get Fridge out of the fight.
He has all this free CS now, a whole level above Tom Kench right now in that matter.
Yep, I think he took a very cautious decision in that one. A little unlike him from the game style that I know of, but he's clearly going to give Fridge a lot of respect. He decides not to do anything risky. But it seems like Omen didn't respect the Shyvana. Shyvana's getting some free play. The Unstoppable does come through. This will finally be the first blood. Who's going to give it away? J4 will secure it.
And that's
in a rough spot here, going to get wedged in, and that's a 2-0. I mean 0-2 for the favor. Wait a minute.
Oh my god, too greedy of the play. Oh.
He wanted it just a little too bad. Omen pops his handy-dandy stopwatch. Thank you, Season 8, and preseason as well, for inventing such an incredibly useful tool for the early game, as that will easily help out Omen to survive that surprise play by Sivian, who risked a little too much for the biscuit.
Man, that was a really aggressive play from the other team here. Really solid that everyone collapsed from Naughty Nips into that play. 3 kills under the belt, even with the Dragon on the other team.
I have to admit, Fridge and GVG's matchup here is actually going a lot more passively than I expected originally. I was expecting a little bit of, like I mentioned, some heavy fighting, but it looks like the fight is only going to happen now is if he has a gank, and Fridge now seems to be in a really bad spot. The CC is getting through to him. He's going to go for the barrier to try to give himself an extra second, but it's not going to come down to it. He will not get out of that one. GVG goes for the taunt secure kill.
At this point in the game, I would have probably gone for that Rift Herald right there. Very solid secure. No one's there to stop them.
Yeah, they are well aware of where the bot lane is right now. They're well aware of most of their positioning in this situation here. But it seems like they do not want to take any risky plays as of yet. They're definitely taking this one step at a time. Not enough with the 2K gold lead. 2K gold lead. GVG will get his first pop of his damage from the demolition. Classic, very classic preseason. Almost every tank in the top gets that now. Almost all of them.
Meanwhile, I don't think Future's noticing that those minions are revealing him, and he's just sitting there like a Barbie doll.
Speaking of Barbie, Owen, 2 assists so far for her, and she's doing a fantastic job. And what a good recruitment process, grabbing some very effective champions like very effective crew of players. GVG will get out of that sticky situation. Ult now being used. GVG will not have any way to stop himself from taking that much damage. Licks him clean, and down he goes.
Man, that was a pretty hard loss there. However, going back with Barbie, a very strong start again, even with that horrible invader that they got into her.
They're going to start up this process. J4 and the mid laner in position. They have the 3-man against 2 now, yet they do not take the risk only because they're worried GVG's ultimate might be off cooldown by the time he gets back into battle, and that might turn the tide in a way that they do not see would be in their benefit.
Now, here's a good question for you. Are we going into this whole idea of League right now in Season 8? How do you feel about the new runes altogether? You think they're a very solid addition? Do you miss the old ones? So how do you feel?
Personally, I think I miss the old ones quite a lot. There was a lot out of the old ones that I very much liked, especially with the mentality of how you wanted to take the approach of the game. It's like there's the way to before we even get onto that one, Zibian has absolutely no chance to survive against Omen, who catches him almost completely off guard and takes him out on that one. Great coordination there, and it looks like Future Mailman is picking a fight. He's got the numbers advantage. He tries to go for the unstoppable, but he gets stopped on the mid J4 ultimate. He now scurries his way out. The Q will reach enough to stab the dragon in the back, and Bridge will go down to Omen. So now Omen grabs himself a couple of kills, and so will the jungler. And the situation for Naughty Nips is looking fantastic right now.
At least they got that Rift Hero. That's at least something they got out of that trade. However, they're losing a lot for them right now.
That's the advantage that Shen really brings into certain battlefields. You just saw like 20, sorry, not 20 minutes ago. It's still 18 minutes into the game. It's now 19.
Oh, man, it's okay, man. Not everyone passed school.
Yeah, about 3 to 5 minutes earlier, you saw when they had the 3-man advantage against the 2 of them, they knew GVG was dead. However, they know GVG's ultimate could have been off cooldown on that fight, so trying to force the 3-man advantage against 2 was an unfavorable advantage, considering GVG could have saved both Omen or J4, depending on who they targeted. But now the script was flipped, and they know that one of their members was down, and the only 2 up were 2 tanks. Therefore, no opportunity at all for a turnaround in that situation, so they tried to book it, and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, sometimes it's being greedy in League is such a bad thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And numbers advantage is always the name of the game in competitive series. If you've got the better numbers, you usually win those fights. Here comes some pressure going in right now. Shyvana right in front of Omen steals it. Right in front of the jungler too, actually. And Zibian will take out Tristana on the ultimate at, I don't even know how far away that was. J4 comes right back in. The mailman will end up getting bursted by Veigar, who will end up getting another kill and going down immediately on that one. GVG trying to get the next catch. He will end up making that a very easy and clean catches for Omen and Barbie Naughty to make that a nice clean ace for the Naughty Nips.
Wow, that seemed like a solid play on both sides. It seemed very close, even with the numbers advantage. I had to give it to Fridge and his team on that idea.
Right, and they happened to really play that situation very effectively. They kind of made a mistake, I have to admit, allowing Shyvana to get the position for the smite. They did not give her any troubles or even CC'd her. They simply allowed Fallen Knight to just get exactly where he wanted to be, and that is a Infernal Drake lost. Damage advantage is now growing ever so more. It's a 16% damage bonus here, and that is a very unfortunate circumstance. I think Future Mailman just didn't have the smite at the time, or just did not seem to want to be worried about the Shyvana. And They did get the ace out of it, so they still have the advantage, but the damage is going to start coming into play soon enough.
However, they also went way too
The
aggressive.
slow, the stun lockdown, Simeon might have another chance, and goodbye, Mailman.
And he got delivered a nice good load of death.
Sends him packing and shows him a gray screen.
Damn.
We got more coming, by the way.
I know for sure.
Oh, wait a minute, the lockdown, I don't think they were aware of that, but they do get some return CC. Sibian is pretty low here. Omen burst the Vagar, and now we're in a running situation for Epic Sex Gaming, as back in the bot lane, it is still a fight between these two champions.
However, you can see that clearly GVG is winning this fight very hard.
Yep, he's got his Q stacking at 5, which means that health percentage damage on the 3 hits is starting to really cave into Fridge, who has still no protection against those auto attacks whatsoever. Doesn't even have himself anything but magic resist and the Sunfire cape. So he doesn't have any direct protection against that.
Yeah, he doesn't. He seems to get hit very hard right now by Shin. That whole metal run idea turned very real, it looks like. Jesus.
So in this situation here, Vagar's your strongest member. The team fights have been going extremely well right now. And you're kind of losing some confidence in your strategy. You know your opponent's ahead. They have the advantage in kills. They have the tower advantage. They got a 6K lead, although I don't know if they're aware of that. They may be. I think they're most likely aware of that situation, honestly. What do you think?
Sure.
What do you think about what's the mentality here?
Right now, for sure, you can see that Naughty Nips here has a solid lead and kills and everything. So for sure, they're confident as hell right now. A lot of gold on their side. They are right now taking really high chances here, knowing they're going to win these trades. Especially since right now ESG doesn't seem like to be grouping still, as they are already starting to group and push lanes.
Barbie certainly flirting with danger there, and it almost led to a death. Barely by the smallest hitbox does Barbie avoid that stun.
Clearly she knows she was going to get it out of that with pure confidence, matter of fact.
That's the best kind of confidence. Pure confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Quote me, folks. Pure confidence.
No questions whatsoever. Meanwhile, it looks like the Baron plays that come out. Very sneaky one at that. And it looks like they're gonna grab the Baron. That is
cleanly
the first Baron of the season.
Yeah, and it was in a surprising motion. They just knew exactly where the enemy was, and they knew they weren't close enough to interfere with that play. Just
that
very strong communication there.
Yeah,
and
war control very hard on right now with Naughty Nips.
Yeah, fantastic shot calling by Naughty Nips there. Just knows where they are, took advantage of their positioning. Great work to get that first Baron of the season.
By the way they're playing, they look they're ready to kick out the season with a nice hard start, going for that championship already. No chances whatsoever.
Yeah, they definitely do not look any weaker whatsoever from their season 1. And that is a good sign for fans of Naughty Nips. That is a very good sign. Fridge here is now fighting a bit of a losing battle here. These trades are still heavily in the favor of GVG's and his very powerful Q shots so far.
Yeah, right now he seems like if Fridge is going for more of a supportive build, it looks like, as they're right now pushing down mid lane.
Yeah, he's going right for the locket here. Going to be a little bit split on the armor and everything else. Oh boy, Simeon, you really threw everything you had, but it
flash though.
Almost nothing, as Omen takes 0 damage from the ultimate. Wow, I've never seen. Oh, Simeon takes a huge chunk of the damage.
But they
engaged on timed on every ability, but it's Tristana that gets the kill. Omen on the follow-up catches the flying mailman as he takes out Lulu, and in the situation they're going to re-engage here. There is no opportunity for Fridge to use his ultimate in this situation. He's going to simply waddle his way back to the mid lane, and the damage on the tower is known. And now the first inhibitor by Naughty Nips has been taken.
You
Wait a second, they're going for the win here,
Oh,
folks.
it looks like it could be the end of the game here. You can tell pure confidence again. Like I said before, they do not care whatsoever about the enemy team right now.
Yeah, going for the very early win. It's the Nexus that is exposed on this situation. Fallen Knight trying to get Omen, but the damage is absolutely not affecting Omen at this point. It is now a 4v5 situation, and Epic Sax Gaming simply trying to hold back the tide. They're not going to hold it for long here.
The pump
Three members go down super fast, and it looks like another one's about to do as well.
And the game goes to Naughty Nibs, ladies and gentlemen. Nice, clean game, full on power.
They definitely could have probably grabbed themselves another ace to go their Happy Meal, but I think if they want to get the first win, I think they just do it in a clean fashion. 26 minutes. Fantastic work out of Naughty Nips.
Perhaps they played it perfectly, it looks like. They played it perfectly this game. No mistakes whatsoever.
Yeah, no mistakes. The 5 deaths that happened on their side was completely part of their strategy.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness! Rain Graphics, by the way, dropped another 8 more cheers and now has a total of 10 cheers now? Is that 10? Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cheers. So now he has a total of 10 cheers. Rain Graphics, man. Thank you so much. I didn't even get to see that, but really appreciate that, man. Looks like we got some clips being placed as well in the chat. Early clips. Love them. Can't wait to take a look at them later. But
oh boy.
We should probably get on to the next topic, shall we? Let's take a look at the match history to see exactly how everything looked in the gameplay.
Alright, let's see how this is started. First off, this is going to affect very slow start, very passive start. Even though they kept trying to poke each other, no one wanted to ever go for that kill.
Indeed, no one. We're looking at a situation right now where it appears that Tom Kench has the highest crowd control score in the game, and that's pretty much as I would expect when you max out the Q, because that slow is a solid, very potent slowing ability that does a lot of damage on that one. So that's a good crowd control score by Tom Kench.
However, still with the most damage as well in this team, that Tom Kench really tried going into that Shen there. It's purely damaging him only, you can tell.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the damage taken coming up pretty soon on that statistic, but let's take a look at the damage done on the Naughty Nip side here. 22,000 damage on the Orianna. Had a beautiful game that Veigar did absolutely everything he could to get as many secure kills as possible, but that Orianna had such a great lead that when Veigar did his ultimate and his combo, he just could not seem to land it, and the ultimate just did nothing. Just
you were able to tell from the beginning of that game that Omen was confident, ready going into it, knowing that he was in a window lane, keeping him as far away from the CS as possible. That farmer lane did not work out as planned.
Definitely did not work out for him, but Naughty Nips, they got the first win. This is great news for them. They absolutely great news for them. We go on to now taking a look at the. We'll take another quick step on to the damage taken and damage healed. Let's go ahead and get a better understanding of how the damages were done by these players. Honestly, the damage taken has to be really high on GVG and Tom Kench. The wet noodle fight is strong between the two of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Tom Kench definitely had a very high amount of damage taken, but that self-mitigated damage, I believe, is basically where his bread and butter was. So good work on him being that type of tank to survive GVG's repeated onslaughts of Q damage. But Shyvana, certainly, when it was a 4v4 and a 4v5, certainly threw himself right into the front of the fray, but did not exactly go for a direct tanking option, which is honestly pretty bizarre. Pretty bizarre of a decision, I must admit.
Usually the common build for Shyvana is not to get your take items to the mid game. However, you can tell the mid game never managed to arrive for the ESG over here, as they lost very hard from the early and mid game.
Well, another statistic to take a look at. Why don't we take a look at the vision score and wards placed in this matchup here? 44 even split between the two supports. That's how you know they're very evenly matched. That's how you know that both of them are putting their best foot forward on wards on vision score. 44 even split, and on top of that, 49 for J4. Vision definitely. What's the main focus of this game as it was team comp and making team comps clashing into each other and taking advantage of damages.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Both sides had a very roaming type of composition that they wanted to have 5-on-5 everywhere they could possibly go, trying the best for the team fights.
Now, I absolutely like to see some of that pretty interesting statistics, and they do look pretty solid here. Well, I think we just about covered all the most important statistics here. I like what I saw. I like how the match went, and it seemed like it was pretty great. And Oriana just looked absolutely unstoppable. Farm
No,
was great, kills was great, assist was great. Everything Oriana wanted to get done was done.
for sure. Really strong matchup that looked like. They looked like it was going to be a very even game. However, the Roman composition was way too strong for Nottingham, so they just took the win just like that with no problems whatsoever.
hmm Well, at this time here, folks, I think we should probably go ahead and take a look at what our friend Dota has in store for his certain context. We'll be right back after this very important announcement from Dota.
Hey guys, Dota here, and joining me is the mid laner for Naughty Nips, Omen.
Hey guys.
Now, Omen, tell us what you guys, Naughty Nips, have been doing the past week in order to prepare for your match this week with ESG.
We've been putting in some time, practices, playing as a 5Q. Personally, I've been playing some solo queue, beating up on the punks and ranked. And so, yeah, we've been preparing quite a bit, getting the synergy up, getting some good hours in. And so I feel confident where we stand right now
Okay.
going into our game.
So you mentioned synergy. So how is the synergy with you guys? Because, it is the opening week. I'm sure you guys have been doing tryouts, picking up new people. So what would you say? Is the synergy really good for you guys, or is it still lacking? You're hoping to finish and, work that out for the rest of the season?
I think we're probably the best team to play around each other right now. We've probably are the team that's been put in stone the earliest and have been practicing from the earliest. We've had some changes in the ADC position. Ryan Stanfield, Hot Girl, seriously, and I feel like outside of that position, we work pretty well together. So.
Okay. So synergy's good. You guys are good to go.
Yeah,
All right.
very good.
Excellent to hear. Excellent to hear. You yourself, you said you've been playing solo queue. Is this just normal solo queue? Or are you actually, putting in extra hours in solo queue, or doing anything extra special, or just, your normal solo queue, getting ready for the season, shaping up?
It's just like, the extra practice hours, getting those hours on the champs I need to, get better at in order for what I might be picking in the coming games.
Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely just extra stuff. So
yeah, just getting in some good reps. I like it. I like it. Okay. So one last question before we get back on the Rift here. What would you like to say, if anything? Would you like to say to all the quote-unquote haters that you have in the Discord? Because I noticed that there's some back and forth going on in the trash heap.
Oh yeah, definitely. They know who they are. They know who's been trying to call me out, but they need to realize that I'm the alpha. All right. They need to realize that they're gonna get beat in lane and in the game every single time I play them. And I mean, I don't think I really have to say much more when it comes to those people, because they're just gonna get their ass whooped by our team and by me. Personally, I'm gonna whoop their ass, but I have full confidence in my team that we're gonna whoop them as a whole. So,
all right,
yeah,
well,
that's what I'd say to them.
There you have it, folks. That's Omen, the mid laner for Naughty Nips. He is quote unquote the alpha. We're gonna send it back to you over at the caster desk.
Well, thank you very much, Dota, for that insight here by Omen. He definitely had a fantastic game, 7-0-10 in this matchup here. That interview actually happened just a little earlier in the week, and I'm actually really loving the segment.
And you could tell that he was confident. He showed it in this game again. This whole game was just confidence all the way for Naughtiness, honestly. They know what they were packing from the beginning.
Oh, by the way, did I get you in for the game? I don't remember if I invited you into the custom lobby or not.
No, you did not.
Okay, so what's your name?
You left me behind, and obviously you already see my name. Good casting partner over here. Hey, I am
Hey,
honest.
hey, I am Church. Okay, one of you join the. Okay, I got it. Get Church. Hey man, it's a little bit of that early rust already starting to kind of come into play here. It's one of those type of things where I hopefully can get you in here as soon as possible so we can get prepped and ready for the next situation. But anyway, I'm actually pretty excited like for the game too here. If ESG is trying to go for the 1-1, which means that both teams will get 1 point if that does happen. However, for the winning team, they will get 3 points if either side would get 2-0. Obviously, ESG can no longer get this, but for Naughty Nips, now on the blue side, we'll be getting this opportunity to go in their favor soon enough.
You can tell already that they're still going to go into this next game for sure, not as strong as ever, especially with the win under the belts already, knowing what they're packing. As of right now, ESG should be really careful because they have to have a know who plan they can look like because the matching up with Naughty Nips with the whole roaming, it did not seem to work out.
Certainly did not seem to work out for that situation. I think I would see an Oriana ban coming pretty certainly. But I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Not a clue. But in any case, it's still an exciting matchup to be witnessed for certain.
Yeah, as we see the monkeys on both teams now finally putting their last things in together to think of their next game plan for game 2 of Duo Esports. Oh boy. Now going into the next ideas possible, going to the new league, how do you think of the newest additions to the roster, Zoe?
Zoe. I do not know if that champion is going to be played after the recent changes, honestly. I don't even know if there's a guarantee that she'll ever be used in any of the comps. With the fact that Zoe is basically a very heavy impact type of champion, catches you napping, then smacks you really hard. Really the type of champion that I personally don't like. Because it doesn't seem like no matter how much tenacity you get, it just seems like that sleep is just so powerful. And
That
it's
sleep
so
actually puts you to sleep.
exactly. The most boring thing for a caster right there is to talk about a champion who's asleep.
Oh man, I want to go sleep already, to be honest.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same.
very. Going on with it anyways, Zoe seems like a very fun and engaging champion. If you could tell by recent games that she seems to attract the attention of a lot of players here in League of Legends. You know, very fun gameplay. You could tell, like going right into the champion slides. Starting off.
Yeah, both teams are super ready to get this next match over with. Naughty Nips needs the early 3 points to kind of make a statement in the league right off the bat, saying, you know what, we're in this to get as many wins as possible so we can make a name for ourselves in the coming weeks. And that is a good sign for many. That's exactly the kind of message you want to make.
Yeah, it looks like the Zaya ban coming out again for Naughty Nips and the Echo ban.
This situation right now looks to be the case where I would definitely expect Omen to be forced off of the champion option that he's looking for. I would definitely imagine that. And it looks like Naughty Nips absolutely doesn't want to deal with a Lulu in that last game. Ignorant is absolutely making it very difficult for other champions to be able to get that CC lockdown, so they wanted to get rid of it quickly.
Oh, for sure. And as it looks like they're just going into the last game's idea. Since Zaya, 2 champions already, they seem very strong for the other team, it looks like.
Vladimir being taken here. Ana completely exposed for Omen to take again. If I was GVG, I'd say, you know what? Let me get that for Omen. I'm going to pick that up for you.
Oh, but besides joining with the Ornn.
So the patch coming up pretty soon. Ornn's going to be taking a pretty big nerf. So GVG taking him while he's hot. He's going to keep him because he's pretty dominant right now. His W still unstoppable, still does that health percentage damage, and still is extremely Powerful maneuver.
However, for sure. That Oriana is still open. No one's thinking about taking that away from home, and no matter how much of a statement he put last game, it looks like that ESG coming out here with Vayne already as their first pick with the AD carry. How do you feel about that? Seems a little off.
Well, from what I can understand here, with Vayne being secured and you got yourself a Thresh, we're certainly gonna have ourselves a pretty interesting bot lane. Definitely to get this Raven Crow fed strategy. Hey, if you leave the J4 open again, Future Man says, I love playing J4. Why don't I play it again?
And getting that solid 80 carry, which is Stano. It looks like they have a very similar comp from last game. What do you think the goal is going to be for ESG this game?
The goal for this game for ESG, it's got to be to get Vayne fed. It's got to get Vayne in a great position to be fed. And if Sivian's going to take out the Anivia here, playing his hand early, that means Omen will now know what kind of champion to take against Anivia here. Anivia very susceptible to engaging mid laners and assassins, in fact. Although I don't imagine that Omen would take that. I think he would still go Orianna because it's such a great champion to take, which is why they banned it right away.
And there we go. They finally banned the Orianna pick. However, when you think about it, they still have the J4 in the jungle, easy engage into the Anivia, so hopefully should be prepared for that. Now let's see what the ban's gonna be like for Nutty Nips here. In the last 5 seconds, they banned the Shyvana. Oh man, not taking any chances from last game. It looks like
Leona being taken away from Ignorant, he will not have that option. Although, Barbie's Leona will actually be the one taken away from that. Actually, Ignorant already has Thresh, so I don't know why he even said that.
It's alright, man. Life sometimes hits us in the head a little too hard, if you can tell by you, of course. But anyways, as it looks like.
Snuck it right by, man. Snuck it right by.
Listen, man, you just always gotta bring your helmet.
Oh, geez, really? Might be a little excessive. Excessive trading, don't you think?
Hey, man,
it's all right now.
Nah, man, just to make sure. As it looks like the Fat Man is picked for ESG.
Malzahar is a good choice here. They're gonna take it.
Yeah, nice shutdown on that Vayne. Hopefully, I think they're gonna go straight for the AD carry, to be honest.
QSS and a Mikhail's Crucible would absolutely benefit Ravencrow heavily here. So that way, whatever CC manages to get onto Fridge will be the CC. Any CC that gets onto Ravencrow. Sorry, I forgot Fridge is not playing Vayne top. Barbie securing the Taric to go with the Malzahar. I like that option, honestly.
I don't know for sure, especially with J-Force engaged. No one's gonna die in any of these team fights with Barbies are in. Good choice. Good, solid choice. I haven't seen Taric in professional play in a while, to be honest. First season here, pretty shocked, to be honest.
If you're watching, and if you're a big fan of Naughty Nips like I am, you will know for a fact Barbie loves to play that Taric anytime she can, because that's one of her fave champions.
Fridge whipping out the Malphite, it looks like, into the horn.
Now, I don't know if he's just saying something, some pleasantries to Fred, our camera guy here, but I'm going to say that I really like the fact that good old Fridge Man over here does take the Malphite against the Ornn. Nobody's really figured out a way to beat the pre 8.2 patch Ornn yet, because it seems like Ornn could just about best anybody in combat, simply because he could just get every item he needs in the early sense. He can get those advantages right when he wants them, and he can just be a powerful tank.
Usually your goal would be just to try to farm out the early game as soon as possible. So champions like Nas, if someone could take hits and give them right back at you, would be great counter to Ornn, in my opinion.
Well, let's hope that is the case, because they're going to need some sort of well-placed wombo combo to get this to work. Now, I like this opportunity because what could happen here, Malphite hits the ultimate, gets himself a 5-man. Gragas throws the barrel, knocks him right over to Anivia. Anivia plants the pool, gets the wall up. So they got nowhere to go. They're inside the Anivia. There's Anivia ultimate, nowhere to run. Vayne tumbles in, hits the condemn on the Tristana. Tristana dies from that much damage. Tarek's ultimate finally comes into play at that point. But at that point, there's just nowhere to run. They're locked in. It's going to be a quick follow-up and a couple of kills afterwards. That's the dream, Wombo combo.
However, you're also forgetting about the fact they have a J4 and an Ornn in the other team there. J4 just needs to ult him just to lock him there long enough, just for the own ulti to hit. Tarek ulti will come in by then to keep everybody alive as they just shredded right through their front line. Both sides definitely have a strong team.
A strong team indeed on both sides here. Both of them needing their carries to be really strong. Tristana is definitely going to be the make or break for their chances for Naughty Nips. And another make or break's got to be Ravencrow. That bot lane was very evenly matched last time. But with Tarek in Barbie's hands, I do not think that Ignorant or Ravencrow can get that edge just like they slowly were doing in game 1.
For sure. Going into this game, already thinking of strategies going up. Hopefully it works out. I'm gonna hope and pray that we get to see the level 1 invade coming out from ESG over here. That must be a sight to see.
Yeah. You know, I have to admit something. I look at this situation, I'm like, do I like Tristana better? Do I like Vayne better?
I mean, when you're thinking about the late game, Vayne's definitely gonna outskill the Tristana, especially into the Ornn and Jarvan, as she's gonna shred right through their front line.
Another thing I'm also going to let you know too, Ornn can use his E to ram himself into Anivia's wall, breaking the wall open. Therefore, just deleting the wall and allowing his teammates to break free. I don't think there'll be a circumstance where that comes into play, but maybe.
And we can hope and pray for some high-level plays coming from GVG over here. If anyone can do it, I believe he can do it.
I'm also very happy to note that this could be, if you're a Naughty Nips fan, the first 3 points collected by a team, but also 3 points collected by the team that happens to be a big fan of Naughty Nips. Epic Sex Gaming has to try to get this to a one-on-one point, so that way they can get some points on the board and also take away from the early victory Naughty Nips got.
I don't know, for sure. Now, we gotta hope for the best. I'm hoping for a nice clown fiesta going on here for both sides, to be honest. Nice and exciting gameplay for the whole family to watch. Speaking of family-friendly content, this is definitely not family-friendly content, as we can see a bunch of monkeys just hurting each other on both sides.
You know, when you say monkeys, that's still family-friendly content, my friend.
Nah, it's not thinking about that, but that's pretty brutal when you come to think about it. I've never seen 2 monkeys fight.
I mean, no, I guess I really haven't. I really haven't.
You know, for a monkey to talk, I'm surprised you don't have any of these situations.
Dang, Church. You passed one on me, and now you got a sneaky, and now you're just coming out strong, swinging right at my face.
Right there. That was a face foot hitter, and I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for that one.
I'm sure you're definitely
not.
Wow, didn't even let me finish the bit for you.
But I got
That's
you.
how not sorry you are.
You can tell this is not a Christian series, that's for sure. Let's go. Starting off the game strong here.
You may not be a Christian series, but it is a competitive series. Let's see which side is going to get the next points and which side is going to have to deal with a 1-for-1.
Oh,
you know, the irony of what I just said is they both would have to deal with the one-on-one points because they both get 1 point each time. But so the Naughty Nip side setting up the Vision line again, and once more it looks like Epic Sex Gaming are about to do a quick invade. Future,
right, there goes what I was hoping for.
The stun does not land, and the hook is not tossed.
I don't know if you noticed from last game as well, but not even this idea to counter their invade, having one person at every entrance possible, getting themselves ready for that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you see Fridge up here just dancing away in his little bush right there, thinking about his life and his gameplay for this game.
I'm gonna also admit that has to be the ugliest Malphite skin I've ever seen. It's literally mold growing on the top of his shoulders.
Have you seen his leprechaun skin?
I mean, yeah. That's actually way better. He's literally growing mold on the top of his body.
Listen, at least this skin has more design.
Does it?
I think so, honestly. At least it has something there. It's just green on the other skin.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This time, it looks like the red side, once again, is in the favor of... Actually, never mind. It looks like Naughty Nips didn't win the last side. I guess maybe it's just red buff is easier to take down than blue. I mean, that's...
for sure. Blue with a higher defense. Not as strong hitting, but still has that wild to get taken down.
Yeah, I did not know that statistic. I was under the assumption that they just happen to have better clear time, that's all. Did it be in here? Whoa, getting Omen at half health bar way early. Omen is taking a huge chunk. And
this time, Sibian does not want to hear nothing from Omen this time around. That whole big world idea is going right out the window here, it looks like, in mid lane. Meanwhile, top lane seeing like, oh wait, going to everyone here seems like they're really into getting ready to get into this gauge. Started for this game. Future heading top lane, hoping to get something off.
MVP of jungle, GVG, and top laning MVP of both season 1 for the both of them. Going at it again, and it was GVG coming out on top of the better late, but it looks like he's also getting an early gank again.
Is that gonna be first blood already? That is first blood already going to Naughty Nips.
That's a very well-placed gank, and honestly went absolutely fantastic. There is not a single ward for Fridge to put down in that time frame. He's definitely got to think about ganks of that caliber happening. Now
talking about the last skin idea from Malphite, if he had that leprechaun skin, he probably could have blended in with the terrain there and hoped for the best that they did not see him coming.
Are you trolling me, bro? Anyway, engagements are re-happening again on top side and bottom side, and Naughty Nips are now in a little bit of a tussle here with EpicX Gaming. Both sides seem to have retreated immediately after the quick trade on both sides, taking a lot of abuse.
I know, for sure. Going back to farming, it looks like mid and top lane getting pushed in very hard. Man, I'm trying to figure out what's gonna happen in this game, to be honest. Everyone here seems to be very bipolar with their engages, pump faking left and right, hoping for the best.
Omen has no mana remaining, had to use it pretty defensively, as well as for farm's sake, just to force Sibian into a situation where he can actually defend the wave pressure. But it looks like Sibian, now with more mana, is going to force Omen into a rough spot.
For sure. Right now, but it seems like this time, now both teams are kind of even on CS. No one's being outfarmed by the other. Very close.
Condemned into the wall here. Barbie tries to hit the stun, will land it. Ignite was now beginning to step back.
Alright. Oh man, top lane going up right now. Fridge with no mana. Clearly out-traded.
Yep, and that is a continuous process so far, and that's why everybody really loves the Ornn and its pick or ban in a lot of people's situations.
For sure.
There they go again. They simply scoot themselves as far away from the mailman as possible.
Oh man. Clearly, you're already expecting this man's playstyle. This to be very gank heavy. They know that Future is going to be coming out right away.
I just noticed something pretty interesting so far as we hit the 5-minute mark. I believe some people have made some backs. The bot lane hasn't yet. But not a lot of control wards have been purchased other than on the side of EpicX Gaming. They've already made some purchases, but it looks like no purchases by the mid laner on that one. And it looks like now GVG will be buying a control ward. I guess I'll have to probably stay quiet.
You know.
Spoke a little soon. Spoke a little soon.
Well, no, it does not look like it at all. No, there it is.
Yep.
There it is. That one ward just to make sure that they have vision on the map.
Interesting.
Meanwhile-
Fridge decides to go for 2 control ward
Oh,
choices.
very deep ward. No one needs to be ganked often, it looks like.
Although it's a deep one, it's quite obvious as well. When the blue buff comes back, I'm pretty sure J4 will be able to find that and get rid of it immediately. But until then, Fridge happens to have a pretty good ward position for now. The red buff is coming. Red buff coming up for J4.
But I think he's gonna ignore that red buff matter of fact and try to go for the gank.
Oh,
Don't-
for sure. For
Don't-
sure.
For sure, very good sir. For sure. Looks like nice and exciting gameplay going on around the map. As everyone's here just sitting around farming. Very exciting. Do you agree, sir?
I think the words I'm looking for is for sure. For sure.
For sure.
I wonder if we can get that spam in the chat room. The Twitch chat room is just saying.
No, this hopefully not have that happen. That'll be very depressing to look at.
What do you mean, my friend? Nothing's too depressing for this casting table.
Oh, looks
Engage
like-
time on by Fridge. He's going unstoppable onto Omen. Omen quickly uses the flash to get as far away from Stivian as possible, and a little bit of mistiming there between the two of them, but it's the ward that really defined his decision making. He knew he had to make the play then and there, but he just couldn't seem to keep Omen in a good position.
Pretty depressing to be honest. Now he's actually gonna try to stay in, just hoping and praying that nothing else happening. Knowing the Savant over here does not have any mana to do anything towards him.
With the superior range advantage and as well as every single engage so far by Thresh has not worked out, Barbie has allowed his ADC to get a now much larger farm lead against the Vayne at exactly 2 waves, at least 12 minions ahead of their opponent.
No, he's at 14, 13. You gotta be 100% with these ideas at times, Army. You see, you're losing your sense of tracking here.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Alright.
You see? This is what happened to me. Talked to you
Chipping
earlier.
away at my fatigue. I got you, my main man.
Don't worry about it, man. You understand when you're older. Am I right, people? Right. I know I am. I don't even need to ask.
You're looking to be fired day one. I got you. I'm kidding.
The fact that I
Oh
got
boy,
this
Fridge gonna flash away, and I think he might as well have just said, you know what? Here's a free flash with my free death.
Listen,
There you
you should
go.
just sit still like the mountain he actually is and hope for the best. Oh, man, I
Down
gotta-
goes the tower. The split between the jungler and the top laner, and the gank focus has worked really well. Fridge is now not only struggling, but heavily struggling against GVG in the house.
For sure, heavily struggling indeed. You can't just say struggling, couldn't you? Just had to exaggerate.
Of course, double the CS at this time. It's a bit of a struggle, honestly. If you want to be fair, maybe I might be exaggerating, as you said, just a little too far. But,
You know, you're good.
but it is a bit of a struggle so far for Fridge.
Oh, it looks like the future here, trying to do something. Plus, wanting to say hi to the Freddy Neighborhood and Nivi over here. It looks like.
Drop a little bit of disrespect by Omen, as he's not worried since he knows he's got the spell shield. Even if Thresh lands it, Omen's doesn't have anything to worry about. Could pull Thresh into a bad spot. He knows this, so dropping a little disrespect.
Just a little bit, you know. This friendly competition. You can tell here. As he heard from Omen last time, he needs to stick his metal rob somewhere safe. It looks like learning from Rise very well.
You can now see a massive farm swing happening between the two mid laners, and this is because now Omen has mana. He was struggling on the mana pool, but he knew he didn't have anything to worry about with Sivian's playstyle, so he just kept using the mana, kept the mana coming out, kept the damage coming, and he knew Sivian wasn't going to be able to get these trades to work even. Suppression has been landed, and Sivian is going to use a Q to get out of that spot. Omen, I think, is going to walk into a bad spot, but Sivian's
barely
take damage.
gets
He will
away.
barely make it. He gets E'd.
And
the
the
passive
auto
comes back.
tag
Sivian, can you make it? He will make it.
The
And
Omen
Omen goes
slowly
down.
losing that confidence. All that confidence he had this win all out in the first game.
I don't know if his confidence is truly shot yet, but definitely a bit gonna take the next fight more seriously for sure.
For sure, for sure. Going back
For
to
sure, for
him,
sure?
for sure.
For sure. 5 sure?
Oh, well, no, let's not push it too much. All right,
3
that's
sure?
that's in the next.
So 3 sure then.
No, 4
2
sure.
sure?
No, that's not what we're talking about here. Now you see, you talking about me getting fired. I'm surprised that you have not yet. Nothing.
Alright.
Fair enough, fair enough. I deserve a little bit.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Too fair enough at that point.
Okay.
There we go. Now we should stop before this goes anywhere else. I'm already cringing.
I believe Dota is in the chat, probably getting annoyed at us.
Listen, who's honestly surprised? Who's the? They understand.
Well, Omen certainly understands how much damage that Nivea's gonna
Oh,
do.
and the ult
It
into
is
the
him in a
tower.
bad spot here. He flashes over. Good instincts to know where the jungler is, but he's
And
not
the
gonna
flop.
get away from Bridge.
You
The
can tell
mountain
that all,
slams full force into the Malzahar.
it's a nice tentacle skill shot from Malphite over here. Clearly used the skill to his advantage.
Definitely clear. Definitely the case.
You know, Fred will be proud of this situation. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like I might have just delayed myself a smidge there. Little bit of lag on my end. How's everything side?
You are slowly dying away.
I certainly was lagging for sure.
It's okay. I'm the star of the show, anyways.
What do you mean? I'm back.
No, man. Don't worry, man. Maybe next season. Already taking you off the charts. This
Wow.
Is, you know, this is what you see. Talking about confidence.
Okay, I think we probably got a little off track of the game here.
No,
Let's get back on track.
All right, there's no problem. We really saw the engage.
3,000 gold lead on Naughty Nips. They're gonna cancel out that well-placed ultimate by GVG, stopping the Rift Herald's usage. Oh, great work. Meanwhile, the Mountain Drake is secured. They're about to run into 4 members. They do activate some ultimates to get into a better spot. The ult's now being placed in. J4 will be given away. All abilities kind of flying around here.
You were losing track. Everyone's everywhere right now.
And now an ultimate being placed by Malzahar. Omen will be able to take out Thresh. GVG literally going through the wall. Is now heading right for Sivian. He does get the slow to land. He's trying to burn the bird. And the bird, Sivian, simply gets out of that spot.
Oh man. I think I am a little bit ahead of your gameplay right now. You guys saw all that and more.
Yeah, I was mentioning. I think you might be ahead of me.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna move back just a little bit for you because I understand.
I'm at 14:15. Hold on, I'll tell you when I'm at 14:20. I'm at 14:20 now.
All right.
23, 24, 25.
I think I got it.
Or at least as close as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
But yeah, back onto the track here. I am our play-by-play caster, so I'm only watching it as it happens. But of course, considering I'm not the camera guy, I think Fred might be ahead of me for all I know. So that's gonna be hard to explain. Lag, everybody. Hate it, but it happens.
Meanwhile, Fred's struggling just a little bit, trying to find out where we are right now.
Since we just hit the 15-minute mark.
Oh, man. So it looks like everyone finally grouping up together. ESG needs to start grouping up a little bit more if they want to get back into this game. It looks like the same mistake they made last time.
They also need to start getting some tower damage to happen as well. Fridge losing, sadly, as badly as he did in this situation, has made it no dent in the tower whatsoever. And same thing in bot side, nobody can really get to these towers.
One of the biggest mistakes right now. Oh wait, going on a bot lane. Oh, Sana being confidently trying to 3v1 under tower.
Oh, was able to be landed, and it will jump away.
Oh man,
Another
the
ult
bomb
by Tristana as Thresh is still tanking. Tristana's getting wedged in by two large bodies, one being a Vayne, and it looks like Gragas is now taking the tower. Somehow, Sivian will secure the kill with the ultimate, barely getting it. So I thought Vayne was going to try an auto, but didn't go for it. But at the top side, Naughty Nips is going to go ahead and start breaching the gates early. They're going to go ahead and grab themselves the tower. The suppression, lockdown, Fridge goes into re-engage, takes out the Malphite, and a little bit late on that ultimate by Taric, but Fridge will go down for it still.
Honestly, I think Ryan played that perfectly. Like, Ryan managed to waste all that time to get their team 2 towers, in matter of fact. I feel like that was a perfect plan, and he knew what he was doing. Hopefully.
Hopefully he knows what he's doing, as right now Epic Sex Gaming trying to get their own tower. TP is going to dishearten both opponents, and merely hitboxes away for the Thresh to get that play.
Yeah, so close yet so far. Swing and a miss, you could say. As I slowly...
So it's almost like the catcher that's supposed to catch the baseball apparently just vanished, just disappeared just as the ball was about to hit him, and now hits the umpire instead. I think that'd be pretty bad of an outcome.
That is a pretty bad outcome. I don't think it was that bad, however. All it was the miss. It could just be a simple strike you could have said, and it would be okay.
Yeah, I did take that to a very far stretch. I do admit.
Clearly this happened to you when you were a kid, but anyways, going back towards...
I was the umpire getting hit?
Something had to happen with you coming up with that story.
Oh, wow. Alright, how about we get back into the vision game here. By Naughty Nips' current war coverage, they do not have many control wards out. Looks like only 2, and in areas where, I have to admit, could be in better places at this stage of the game. Meanwhile, by Epic Sax Gaming, they got a lot more vision control, but they have no opportunity to really get any good catches. Their team comp is pretty good at it. They haven't been able to get that coordination yet. They haven't forced anything bad, and it's probably because Malzahar's passive has made it too difficult for them to try to get a free play.
Well, for sure, ESG is trying to catch up on the war coverage, because at the beginning of the game, they were just kept roving to the top side jungle, killing Fridge under tower half the time. Needs a little bit, at least they're trying to make up for it now, hoping to get some catches out there.
Getting close to the 20-minute mark for both sides here. I don't think we'll see another surprise Epic Sex Gaming unalerted Baron steal. I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, sorry, not Epic Sex Gaming, Naughty Nips. Naughty Nips, I don't think they'll be able to sneak another Baron at 24 minutes this time. I don't see that happening, but who knows? They're certainly waiting for some engages.
They are waiting for their cue. They're waiting for the engagement of a lifetime. Want to set the marriage in motion. I need to stop before I lose some more brain cells.
Yeah, that's the casting gig for you, my friend.
Yeah,
it does happen to the best of us and the worst of us. Casters really struggle, my friend.
All right, now the Naughty Nips coming out with the dragon, and they get it, engaging into the team fight.
Oh wow, there's a team fight happening for you right now?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm definitely behind you.
Yeah, it looks like you're right back behind to where you started.
I guess so.
Well, Naughty is slowly losing this trade, actually. Still got the dragon at least, but they're still trying to go for the engage, trying to get something a little bit more out of it. Oh, man.
Well, yeah, I definitely fell behind again. Certainly unable to keep up with what's going on in the game.
GG flashing over for that interview completely gets her right there in charge. Egg pops out and the dead. That is what you call some scrambled eggs, and I want to see the taunt come up of GFG right now. Sadly, I don't get to see it. Very disappointed in GVG, honestly.
But I remember impressing he did the Mapengu.
No, he's supposed to make the whole cooking the egg taunt that Orin is famously known for.
Oh, you mean just pressing W?
Yeah, no. You know how his taunt is the whole, hey, he's trying to cook an egg and the Poro steals it, right?
I think you might be correct, but I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's one of his taunts, and if he would have popped that out, I would have been so proud of my man there. But it looks like he didn't, so I'm very disappointed. Expectations were set way too high.
Yeah, maybe like me, he just probably didn't know about it.
As it looks like both teams getting to the top side, getting ready for a Baron play to come out very soon, it looks like. We hope and pray that nothing bad happens for Naughty Nips over here as they're trying to start it. They're right now punt faking everybody, hoping for the best.
Mm-hmm.
I have to mention again that they're hoping for the best. Hook comes out, miss. Very sad and disappointing to watch. It's alright, Armor. You'll catch up to us eventually. No,
I most certainly will try to do so.
I would like to read. Where are you at right now on the list so I can catch up to you?
Well, I just caught up to the time that I believe I'm at now. I'm going to let you know that I'm at 22 minutes and 3 seconds as of right now.
Yes, there we go. We're on the same board now.
Yep. Certainly, definitely that type of issue coming from my computer, certainly.
Not enough starting the Baron, it looks like. GVG trying to stall.
He will be able to have that opportunity, but I don't know if he can do it successfully. Ultimate now by Barbie. The ult's coming in. J4 does secure it.
Yes, for sure. But the rush save trying to save Bridge doesn't work out, it looks like.
Oh my goodness. Multiple members of Epic Sex Gaming going down. He tried to do the kite and shoot. It does not work out for him here. And Zivian is going for the ultimate to try to stop Ryan from having that chance. He will simply get out of that rough situation. 3-2 advantage for the Naughty Nips as they now have themselves a 10k gold lead, or at least as close as you're going to get to one, thanks to the towers and the farm.
Sure, for sure.
So is that like 8? So is that 8 sure?
Wait, what?
Two 4 sures makes an 8 sure, right?
Yeah. No, because I think it multiplies, not add.
So it's a 16 sure.
Yes.
Okay, interesting math.
Interesting. We will figure it out next time we actually go to math class, because I don't think none of us have been there yet.
Apparently not. Not in this condition we haven't.
It looks...
Not while our brains are cooking. Absolutely not.
Unless we try to come up for innuendos and innuendos.
The innuendo to the innuendo.
Speaking of that, Omen...
That's an inception.
You can tell that Omen has not been sticking out his metal rod this game, it looks like.
Oh, what a fantastic couple of matches.
Oh, man.
Well, it's quite clear, no 14-minute Baron, but it was actually a little bit sooner than that time. They do have the Baron, Naughty Nips. How are they going to crack open this gate this time?
Crack open this egg, it looks like, as they really are trying to look for a pick here. Hopefully onto the Nivea, as that's their biggest concern right now, in my opinion.
4-man on the 4-man in mid, 5-man as the opposing side here. I don't know if they're aware of this, but they have the number advantage. They could engage here. I think that would be a good call. GVG now finally here makes this a 5v5 as he's going right for plays him away, but it's still going to allow him to get in a nice spot. Sibian does escape.
The hook hits the Malzai.
Yep, and neither side really going to commit to the engage yet as the siege begins on the tower.
Slowly but surely they are opening deep gates. If anyone was to be proud, it would be Tricky.
GVD certainly tired of waiting. Oh, an engage to stop a Malphite on the second one, and the ultimate by Barbie resets the battle.
As the reinitiating started to go in, I don't think ESG should be able to do that. They're slowly losing this fight, going back out with the scrambled eggs.
Cooking them nice and fresh and giving them a little bit of that fantastic maneuver by Malzahar to just give it some extra flavor. And that is 2 members of Epic Sex Gaming going down here. This could be another quick win for them. They're going to engage right on to Ryan, but it looks like Gragas not tanky enough, simply going to go down there. Ravencrow certainly trying to get those auto attacks off. Doesn't have a lot of comfort. You can see why. They simply went right on top of him and took him out rather quickly. Triple kill for Tristana. You can't, at this point, it looks like Naughty Nips is going to secure their 3 points with this 2-0 victory as the ace confirms the match and the Nexus is popped.
I have to say that last team fight, no matter how bad he turned out for ESG, that ulti from Fridge was a really strong ulti, hitting about 4 people on the enemy team. Only were able to could do more.
Man. Well, we got some statistics to take a look at before we bring this to a close here. I believe I've forgotten. I might have to message somebody real quick. If you don't mind covering for me for a second, I gotta go talk with management just to make sure I know exactly what we're doing here.
For sure. The star of the show has finally arrived, ladies and gentlemen. As we look at the graphs here, it looks like, surprising enough, Omen, even with the bad game, it looked like he actually convincingly did the most damage in game for Naughty Nips. Continuing on here, going to the damage charge, GVG doing a surprising amount of damage as well for a tank, but at the same time is Ord. Pretty disappointing to look like. Going into the not true damage, what am I thinking? Damage dealt 2 objectives. Tristana over there for Naughty Nips, throwing out a nice and solid about 20k for Naughty Nips over here, just to try to close out this game as fast as possible. Hoping and praying. Let's see how it's gonna be looking like here for damage taken.
I'm back, by the way. Just
welcome.
getting some information, some confirmation as well. Got it from the boss himself. So good. We're good to do this. Okay. Now,
you want to continue?
We will go ahead and finish up the segment of what's going on with the graphs, shall we? And then we'll go on to our interview segment.
For sure. Going on to the damage taken, it looks like right here that their jungler Greg is over here. It took a lot of damage, it looks like, surprising enough, as I didn't think I saw Greg in most of those fights. Very strong tank, it looks like, actually taking a lot of damage, let alone the self-mitigated damage, going on for the Malphite and Fridge on his side. Hopefully, Gavin would be proud, also known as Fred, will be very proud of this man, hoping for the best next time, Team ESG. I think.
That's good. Good work.
It's pretty alright, right? It's pretty alright.
Getting the very first win is a little bit more than alright, but I think they did a very solid job closing out this game. They set out to do exactly what they needed to do, and they ended the game exactly the way they needed to end it. So we're going to go ahead and head off to the interview section of this situation. I guess it'll be decided between you and I here. Let's go ahead and do a bit of a head count here, because I'm not going to lie to you. Omen had a fantastic game 1, but game 2 seemed to be a bit more shakier than usual.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a bit less than his previous performance. Although don't take it away from him, his damage was still very solid.
Yeah, he still was at the top of his leaderboard. It looks like.
We gotta add another couple of things here. The bot lane between Barbie and Ryan Stanfield absolutely looked dominating when they got themselves ahead. Barbie just looked like she could just make any ADC just look like the next level of player.
Definitely, as it looks like she can carry anybody, even a monkey. It seems like, as if Tristana over here did not get as much help as she did. I don't think they would have provided as much power as they did.
Right. But also the unsung hero GVG in the house definitely had a fantastic game 1 and game 2. It almost looked like Fridge was just a step behind GVG in almost every way, and that's exactly what you want out of your top laner. Great work for GVG. So, this being said here, I gotta know, man, from these options, we've talked about our honorable mentions, but who really deserves the player of the series, or in this case, the MVP?
The MVP for this game, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like Future did a lot in this game, actually putting a lot of pressure for both sides. As you were able to tell, they had to get tired of him and started warding up every area possible just to avoid Future and his gank.
He did seem to take control of the map, and as we did take a look at, his vision score was always very high. It just seemed like he was just making that type of shot calling, and you could kind of visually see how effective the shot calling was by Future. It just seemed like the Baron was there, the plays were there, everybody was in sync, and everybody did fantastic. Now, I don't know for a fact if Mailman was the shot caller, probably most likely Barbie, but we'll go ahead and say that Future Mailman has got himself the very first MVP of Duo Esports.
And delivered his team the win, as a mailman should.
Exactly. Now, because I can't exactly see his lobby due to a slight error, I'm going to hope that he moves himself over to the general lobby in Duo Esports, so that way I'll know he's ready and we can bring him in for the interview. If he's interested. If not, I'm pretty sure. Oh, if you're trying to interview him. Okay, interesting. Looks like GVG just informed me that he is unavailable. Seems like he just left recently. So we got to interview somebody. Why don't we go ahead and bring GVG in here then?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Well, GVG is part of, is able to participate in the casting situation, so he can join basically when he's ready.
Yeah, whenever
can
he
join
wants
the
to join
caster room.
general. Whenever he wants to join, just keep us waiting here, GFG. I won't mind. I can just talk more shit here, like I'm doing now, matter of fact.
We'll go ahead and get you ready to do this when you are ready. By the way, GVG, you could just join the caster room. You don't have to join the general.
There it goes. Welcome, GVG.
What up?
Hey, my man, you did fantastic against the Fridge. What do you
Yeah.
have to say about that, as you have won the very first most valuable player of Duo Esports?
Well, you know, kind of saw that one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that much of an asshole.
No! You remember
no,
that
I
he definitely
I had
commented
fun.
on how good you were, by the way.
I know. I had fun going against Fridge. It's always fun to play against Fridge. He always gets to play shit in top lane I don't get to, which makes me jealous. But that's besides the point.
Listen,
guess it
sometimes
is.
I feel like you gotta believe in your gut and just go for it. I feel like that's what Fridge did that game. How do you feel about going through that matchup?
The Tom Kench or the Malphite?
Any of the two. Go on right ahead.
Well, Tom Kench I know wins against one against me in Shen early, so I tried to trade, not as much as I normally do, just because he was winning them.
We did notice that as well, yes.
Later in the game, when I started to get a little more ahead and got some items on my belt, then I could actually trade with him and win.
Yeah, I did notice like that one moment you started to get those cues to just really nail into him. Did you know at that point you've hit that spike, or what were you feeling at that point? Did you knew you had to control the lane right when you started to lower his health bar more than he was doing on the trades?
Yeah, right around when you get level 5 with Shen Q, as well as usually you get Team Ad or maybe a tank item. If you get the proct where it goes through the champion, that's when you can just half health some champs. That's when you can start playing really aggressively and take the lane.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to some of my earlier conversations, how confident were you guys as you went into these games?
I was pretty confident, but that's just because I like to think I'm a good player. I think my team is really good, so I knew they would have my back for plays we did. We all really had a real concise mindset in what we were going to do in the game and how we were going to do it.
All right.
You got it done twice and around the same time. In fact, I think you almost got the exact same time each time for when you guys began that Baron and when you guys ended the game. I kind of like that. That's a great way to just kind of close out the game right when you knew you had control.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate that your the person that won the MVP was unable to do the interview, but thank you very much for being a part of it, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just want to say that considering you are here for his sake, just very much thank you for that. But I also wanted to say, is he the shot caller? Was he the shot calling, or was it Barbie? Who's making those calls for Baron?
It's Owen. Or Owen.
Owen. Okay. Well, then that's good. We already did an interview with Owen segment. I think you probably already knew that.
Yeah.
But
He's like our main shot caller, and the occasional Barbie will jump in, or I will, or somebody else will. But Omen
Yeah.
is mainly who shot calls for us.
I see. Well, you got yourself the 2 wins, 3 points on the board. That's fantastic for a start. Nutty Nips looking pretty good. GVG in the house, the top laner of that team. Thank you very much for doing the interview.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. You can already step out. Doors on the left. You're all set to leave when you're ready.
All right, peace out.
Hey, don't forget to take your bananas on the way. Anyway.
And he left. Did not pass go or collect $200, that man. Well, I think let's go ahead and bring this segment to a close here, folks. My name is Army Overlord. I was your play-by-play, who was a little delayed.
Yeah, not the best flavor, but it's okay. I still love the man. My name is Church, and I'm happy to say, first game coming to the close. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day indeed. But before we go ahead and close this out, remember tomorrow there is going to be some games, 6 p.m. And depending on how fast that 6 p.m. match ends on Saturday, will be an 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. depending on the duration of the match. So be there at 6 p.m. at the start of that. We will be waiting for you guys. See you when we get around to you. Duo Esports signing out.